So you're probably wondering, why am I doing this Q&A right after I announce the first one? Well, the reason being is because, well, the reason being is because I couldn't wait any longer. I just watched the newest episode of the show, and I decided, you know what, I just want to do the Q&A now, and I didn't really get a lot of questions for it, maybe because it's mostly on my fault, really. It's mostly me, because I did that Q&A late at night, and I didn't think anyone was really going to see the Q&A. So I decided, you know what, I think I've got enough questions for this Q&A, so I'm going to rip right into this. Also, as always, if you haven't seen, if I didn't answer someone's questions, that more than likely means that that YouTube was being a dick and decided not to show it and mark it as spam. So I do apologize in advance if I didn't answer someone's question. It's not me, it's YouTube's fault. So, let's get into it. With first question comes from Burnouter7, who asks, what was the funniest moment in the show for you? I think one of the things that always makes me laugh is when if you guys remember the episode where Randy is taken out of the Nomicon, and the thing called Nama Randy takes over, and he tries to get back in his body, but he ends up in Howard's body. And after the whole event, there's this line that Randy says. He's like, "Howard, when I was inside of you," and then Howard goes, "Don't say that, never say that." And I was like, that is hilarious. There's another line where Randy says a line. It says like a pun. He's like, "Why do you say things like that?" I don't know. It's like the dialogue in here is so clever, and there are other scenes like I love when Howard was taken over by the Tengu, and he's like, he's trying to tell Randy is like, there's weird things growing in certain places, and Randy says, "That's fine. The nurse said stuff would happen. That stuff would happen to us when we got older." Paraphrasing, of course, but still. So there's that question. Just taking a swig of my beer here. Yeah, not water this time, it's beer. Yeah. So, the second question is, do you think Randy would join the Young Avengers or the Teen Titans if he had a chance, and would he get along with them? So, if Randy had to choose between the Young Avengers and the Teen Titans, who would he go for? I think maybe he would go for the Teen... Well, depending on what Teen Titans group. If it's the animated Teen Titans, I think he would get along pretty well with them. Young Avengers, I don't know, because Eli is kind of very straight-laced. Him and Kate would get along very well. I could definitely see Randy and Kate get along pretty well, along with him hanging out with Wiccan and Hulkling. Those two the three of them would get into so much trouble. And I don't really think Randy would mind that that Wiccan and Hulkling were a couple. I don't think he would mind at all. I also think he would, but again, yeah, I think he would get along very well with Kate above all. Probably not in a relationship, but more like, yeah, we're BFFs. But yeah, I could see him joining either one. And your third question is, if Randy teamed up with Captain America, Batman, Spider-Man, X-Men, Deadpool, Iron Fist, Black Panther, Urza Scarlet, Cora, and Witch, what would happen and what would they think of each other? I did that all in one take. Ha! So, what would Randy think of each character? So, let's power through this real quick. If Randy teamed up with Captain America, he would just be in total awe of hanging out with the living legend himself. He would just be like, "Yes, sir. No, sir. It's an honor to hang out with you. Can I touch your shield?" Not like that. I didn't mean it like that. Same thing with Batman. I think he would just be in total awe of hanging out with Batman. He would just be like, "Oh my God, I'm literally fighting alongside a legend." With Spider-Man, those two would get along. I've always wanted to write a Randy Cunningham Spider-Man team up. I've always wanted to write I just can't figure out the right story, but I do want to have the Sinister Six involved. I do want Dr. Octopus and a few other villains involved with that story. The X-Men as well. I think him and Bobby would get along. Him and Iceman would get along great. Same with Jubilee. Deadpool, oh, those two, dear Lord, I can't even imagine the trouble they get into. Iron Fist, I think he would be in total awe of the power of the Iron Fist. As for Black Panther, again, another legend I'm hanging out with. Korra, those two would become BFFs. I can see Randy and Korra maybe even striking up a relationship, possibly. It's a possibility. Urza wouldn't stand the side of Randy. She would just be like, you are unfit to call yourself a warrior. And Witch, yeah, he would definitely have a lot of fun with Witch. Randy and Haylin would probably be a couple as well. I'm just saying, Randy and Haylin would probably end up as a couple. So yeah, thank you for those questions, Burnout 7. Next we move on to Marvel and DC 379. First question is, do you consider Randy Cunningham, the 9th grade ninja, a superhero? I guess you could say he's a superhero. Yeah, he's got... No, I wouldn't say superpowers because it all comes from the suit. I would say more like he's he's definitely a superhero. When he puts on the suit, he gets the powers. But, yeah, I do consider him a superhero. Second question is, what's your favorite episode? My favorite episode. There's a lot, actually. I like Der Monster Club. I like 30 Seconds to Math. I really like that one. The Nama Randy story, like I said. There's a lot of episodes like Viva La Namacon. There's a lot of episodes that I like. That, in fact, every time it comes on, I'm like, yay, Randy Cunningham, so amazing. So yeah, thank you for that question. Your final question is, do you plan on making any Legends of Evil episodes with any Randy Cunningham 9th grade ninja villains? I do, but I'm going to wait a bit to do them. Maybe they'll do a little more backstory on the characters. I do want to do like on Hannibal McFist or the Sorcerer or Catfish Boo-Ray. I am thinking on doing those villains. I don't know, I can't really give you an exact date, mind you, but I do intend on doing Legends of Evil on them segments on them down the road. So, next up is Major Badass. Major Badass guy, the first question is, do you think Randy Cunningham is good with just the mask? Would you like to see him get other magical ninja stuff? Okay, the reason why, I don't know why every time I have to say Major Badass, I have to sound like Jungle from Action Figure Therapy. Or is it Marine? I can't remember which. Anyway, yeah, your first question is, do you think Randy is just good with the mask? I think it is like some of what he does is from the mask, mind you. I think a lot of it does come from the mask, but I think the majority of it comes from his own skill. But what I'd like to see is maybe an episode where the Namacon's like, nope, fuck you, you just broke the rules, and I want to see, like, maybe he has to depend on himself, like he has to put the hood on, get some arrows, and run around Norrisville going, you have failed, Norrisville! I'm thinking of something else, aren't I? But no, I kind of want to see him without him doing stuff without the mask. But yeah, in terms of other ninja stuff, I don't know what else he could get, really. I can't tell you. Your second question is, do you think it would be cool to see Randy in a team of teen magical warriors based on different warriors from around the world, like a Zulu kid, a Rajput kid, a Knight kid, or any other warrior you could think of? Okay, that's really cool. Basically, what he's asking is, what if there was a team of from different cities? Each one has a guardian that is a kid that is given the powers of a certain warrior at a time. Like for Randy, he's a ninja. Maybe there can be a town where they're guarded by a Spartan. There's a kid who puts on a magical helmet and he becomes a Spartan. Or you got another kid who becomes a Roman centurion or stuff like that. I think that'd be really cool. I actually had an idea of doing a story where Randy goes to Flackville, the Norrisville's rivals, and he encounters the Flackville Samurai. I had an idea for that. So yeah, that'd be cool. And your final question is, would you read a comic or fan fiction about a team formed of superpowered gifted kids that had Randy joining the likes of Ben 10, Jake Long, Danny Phantom, Juniper Lee, Kim Possible, and Jenny XJ9? Yeah! Hell yeah! I absolutely love that. I think that would be really cool. It'd be like it'd be an Avengers type story. Also, put Shizao in there, and you've got a done deal. Put Shizao and El Tigre in that team, and you've got a done deal right there. Boom. Also, glad I got you into Doctor Who, Major Badass. I hope you enjoy it. May Peter Capaldi's eyebrows guide you, or something. I don't know. So next one is Victor De Silva. I do apologize if I completely butchered that last name. But Victor's first question is, do you think Randy has ever watched any good anime? Example, One Piece, not the piece of shit 4Kids version of one. Okay. The anime. What kind of anime would Randy Cunningham watch? I really like this question. Okay, so what kind of anime would Randy Cunningham watch? For some reason, I want to say Naruto. I can't imagine why. High School of the Dead, Attack on Titan, Black Lagoon. Ergo. For some reason, no, I don't think he would get into Ergo Proxy. Oh My Goddess, Tenchi Muyo, Dragon Ball Z. It's another anime I can see him getting into. Baccano, maybe Baccano. And Durarara, and of course Space Dandy. Yeah, I could totally see Randy Cunningham digging Space Dandy. But yeah, I could see One Piece in there too. So thank you for that question. Your second question is, if the past had any indication, does that mean Randy's hometown is actually destroyed Japan 100 years in the future? I never got that vibe, really. I never got that vibe. I gotta be honest. But maybe that's that's one for the cartoon theories right there, Victor. That's one for the cartoon theories. But yeah, that would be an interesting story to explore. So thank you for that question. And last one. If Randy were to accidentally stumble upon a website called 4chan, would he A, back away slowly and never come back again, B, look up some of the boards like, or hell, even go on, oh man, or C, look up the fanfic Shrek is Love, Shrek is Life, and see if he is a believer of Shrek, or he's going to check it out. Okay, I have, now, Randy would probably be on 4chan. I could see, like, maybe he would check out 4chan, but there'd be some stuff where I'm like, oh god, no. I can see him going. Actually, no. I think he would go to 4chan out of a dare from Howard. I could see Howard going to 4chan more than Randy. But with Randy, also side note, I accidentally stumbled upon Shrek is Love, Shrek is Life through a reading. By an actual fanfiction reading done in the voice of Applejack from My Little Pony. I found that I stumbled upon it when I was going through like a YouTuber's videos. I'm scarred for life, and I'll never be able to watch the Shrek movies again. Not like I wanted to. So thank you for those questions, Victor. Next set of questions come from the Omnitron12345, who asks, do you think the ninja suit is like a Spawn costume, essentially in the terms of powers? Interesting question. Sorry, I had to get some more beer. So is the ninja suit like Letha, aka the Spawn suit? In a way, I can see it. Like it's a living organism, and it bonds to Randy. But then again, it can bond to anybody. You could easily compare it to being like the symbiote, really. You could honestly compare it to being like the symbiote in a way. But no, I can see that. Him granting all these powers, the more he trains, the stronger it gets. The difference is, it doesn't feed on evil. I don't see Randy standing out in the middle of a forest, gathering all the evil and darkness from animals like wolves and owls and shit like that. So yeah, but I can see where you're coming from, Omnitron, I can. Second question, Randy versus Zim, who wins? I can see Randy, because Zim is just going to be taking too long ranting and raving, and then he's going to get a ninja air fist to the stomach and be like, I give. Third question, Randy versus Venom, who wins? It depends on what Venom you're talking about. If it's Eddie Brock, he's going to get the shit beat out of him, because that character has more experience and dangerous. If it's Matt Gargan, he has a chance against Matt Gargan, But also another one he may not have a chance against is Flash Thompson. So depending on which ones, loses to Eddie Brock and barely survives, might beat Matt Gargan Venom, and loses to Flash Thompson. But that's just me. That's how I see it. So thank you for those questions, Omnitron. It's the Spawn 117 who asked, who would win in an epic rap battle of history? Randy or Zim? So this is basically the Randy versus Zim question, but it's more of a rap battle. Randy on the grounds of he's done rap before, and Zim would just be like, yeah, what is this rap you speak of? Go, bring the gift wrappings! That's how I see that happening. Next question. What do you think of a Randy Cunningham 9th Grade Ninja Detective Conan crossover? Ooh, Detective Conan. I could see the two hanging at, like, I think it would be interesting, because Randy would be like, hey, listen, kid, I'm the ninja. I can do what I want. You just stay there, with your friends in the playpen, and I'll be fine. I think it would just be Randy dissing Conan constantly. I think it would just be too much fun to see that. So that's how I see it. Your third question is, what would Randy's reaction be if he ever saw Alucard or Leroy Jenkins? To Alucard, he would be terrified, and Leroy Jenkins, he'd be like, I give you chicken. Yeah, that's my general thoughts on that. So thank you for those questions, the Spawn 117. Next questions come from Matt Kaiser 08, who asks, how would you do a Randy Cunningham Godzilla crossover? I don't know. I really don't know. Let me think on this. Maybe what you could do is that Godzilla, Viceroy, Hannibal's right-hand guy. Basically, what he does, they can't really, they're tired of sending robots, so what they do is send like a little sonic device that goes to the ocean, upsets Godzilla, and he sends instead of having Godzilla destroy the ninja, it ends up just ruining the town, and the ninja has to find a way to stop him. So, there you go. That's what I think, generally. Second question. If Randy was in a death battle, who would you have him fight and why? Ooh, good question. If Randy was in a death battle, who would he go head-to-head with? Who would Randy challenge? Who would be his challenger? Okay, enough of that. I think like Danny Phantom, maybe one. Kim Possible is another. Jake Long, one of those type characters, for sure. That would be his death battle opponent. So thank you for that question, Matt Kaiser. Next one comes. The next set of questions come from Wolfman the Impaler, who asks, "What would you say to someone who hasn't watched the show yet, aka me, to start watching?" I would say check it out. I think the writing's really smart. It gets away with a lot of stuff. There's some nice action scenes. The writing there's some great hysterical writing in there. There's some stuff in here that I'm like literally like, they got away with that in a Disney show? Like the Inside of You joke. Like I said earlier, there's some great robot death scenes, and again, the art. I actually no, I don't think I said this earlier, but. The artist in here is from Jonan Vasquez, who is, as you all know, the creator of Invader Zim, and he did all the artwork in this show. He drew all the characters. He was the character designer on the show. So there you go. That's my suggestion for watching the show. Give it a shot. It's a lot of fun. Okay, your next question is Strax from Doctor Who appears in Randy's school. What happens? Okay, if the greatest Suntaran ever showed up at Randy's school, here's what would happen. He would look at he would look at a monster or a robot and go, "Surrender yourself now and prepare for execution by the Suntaran Empire." And aiming his gun, or you're looking at the ninja and being like, "You fight in stealth, little man. I fight head on. Yes. And also I could see like him trying to be a teacher, like a janitor, and he's like, filthy spot, you will be boiled in acid. Something like, and all the time Randy's like, can no one see he's an alien? He is a giant potato-headed alien. No one can see this but me. So, there you go. And your third question is, what would be more hilarious to watch? The cast of the show playing Cards Against Humanity, or the entire cast being voiced by Team 4-Star for an episode as characters they voiced in DBZ Abridged and Hellsing Ultimate Abridged. Oh, Lord. Oh, dear Lord. I can't pick. I really can't pick, because that would be too funny on either account. I really can't decide which one would be more fun. It would be more hilarious. Oh my god, I really can't pick. Because thanks to my good friend Zazubar and Super DM64, I now know what Cards Against Humanity is, and that's goddamn hilarious. So seeing the entire cast together playing that would be great. But man, I would be fine. Actually, I'm going to go with the first one, A. I would absolutely love to see the characters go play Cards Against Humanity. So thank you for those questions, Wolfman the Impaler. Next set of questions come from Dylan Malone 14. Your first question is, what do you think will happen if Randy faced off against Dormammu? He would get his ass kicked. I'm sorry. Randy is pretty much still a novice when it comes to the ninja stuff, and he would get his ass thumped by the almighty Lord of the Dark Dimension. So sorry, but yeah, that's how I see it. Anyway, do you think we'll learn about how the ninja mask was made? Yeah, I think that would be really cool. I think seeing how the ninja mask was made, I think would be a really cool story. Because again, it kind of acts like the symbiote. So I want to know, did they use magic to build it, or was it something else? I think that would be something really cool to explore. So think of that question. And your final one is, what kind of villains do you want to see Randy fight? I'd like to see him fight... What I think would be really cool is to see him fight someone who, is a bounty hunter. I'd like to see, maybe McFist just gets fucking sick of trying to send robots after him, so he sends a bounty on... He puts a $1 billion bounty on the ninja's head, and, he has to fight his way through all these bounty hunters from across the world. Kind of like Batman Arkham Origins style. So yeah, thank you for those questions, Dylan Malone. Next set of questions come from Andre Partridge, who asks, what would Randy Cunningham think of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles if they happen to meet up? I think it would be awesome. Again, that's another crossover. I've tried to figure out a way to write it. I've always wanted to write a Randy Cunningham Ninja Turtles crossover. I think that'd be a lot of fun to do, having especially Randy and Mikey hang out. Those two would get into so much trouble. But yeah, I don't know how, I think it would be really cool. Raph would get, Raph would just look at him and be like, oh god, another Mikey. So yeah, that's how I see it anyway. Second question is, who is your favorite and least favorite character from Randy Cunningham? There's too many favorite characters because I love them all. They're all really fun. I really enjoy all of them. I think they're all really cool in their own way. I don't really have a least favorite character. Well, actually, no, Bucky. I can't fucking stand Bucky, and I know that's how it's supposed to be, but yeah, they make it really good to say, yeah, fuck you, Bucky. You share the name of an awesome character. Fuck you. You don't deserve to have the name Bucky. There's only one person to have that, and he goes by the identity of the Winter Soldier. Yeah. And your third and final question is, which of the two main girls of the show would you rather see Randy with, and why? Heidi or Teresa? Now, For those who don't know, Randy's single right now, but there are two characters that most people love shipping him with. And those are the two characters, Heidi, who is Howard's older sister, and Teresa, who is a girl who clearly has a crush on Randy and is a baton girl, and is also known as Baton Girl. I'm personally okay with both. When the show started, I shipped Heidi and Randy, but I also ship Randy and Teresa. I really do. I can go either way. This is one of the few times in shipping in shows where I'm like, I'm cool with either boat. I am totally fine with either one happening. Totally cool with it. But yeah, with Heidi, it's I think it would be very interesting to see those two. It'd be almost like it'd almost be like Superman and Lois Lane with those two. It'd be very much Superman and Lois Lane. And for him and Teresa, that would be more like Spider-Man and Mary Jane. Because I think she would be a little more understanding, and Teresa would be a little more understanding and able to keep a secret, whereas Heidi wouldn't be able to keep her mouth shut because she runs a web series for the school. But I'm okay with either, Andre, I really am. And I'm okay if he ends up with either, because we recently found out in an episode that he does kind of have a thing for Heidi, but he also has a thing for Teresa. So I'm kind of hoping maybe they'll do an episode where he has to choose one. And we also saw Nama Randy hit on Heidi as well, so... and Howard did not like that. So yeah, thank you for those questions, Andre. Now moving on to Grodhanks. I always butcher this name every single time, I'm sorry. Who's your favorite character? I kind of answered this previously. I'm sorry, but yeah, Andre kind of... I already answered this question already. I really don't have a favorite character. They're all fun, except Bucky, who I want to punch in the face. Like tire iron. On fire. And covered in barbed wire. Your second question is, which crossover would you like to see more? Randy Cunningham meets Shaolin Showdown, or Randy Cunningham meets Jackie Chan Adventures? I'm cool with either, really. I'm really cool with either one. Not Shaolin Chronicles, because that show makes no goddamn sense. And as long as it's Showdown, not Chronicles, I'm totally fine. But yeah, I'm cool with either one, really. I think it would be cool to have, like, maybe... Here's another story, and again, it's stuff I've always wanted to do, is Randy Cunningham and Shaolin Showdown. And I wanted to make it that Randy is like a direct descendant of Chase Young. I wanted to have it, because, Chase Young's been around for, like, centuries. You know he's been spreading his seed. You know it, I know it. He's probably been off banging the most powerful female warriors and producing those powerful offspring. And I'd like to imagine that Randy's one of his offspring, one of his distant relatives. Or, distant grandchildren. That's my weird-ass headcanon. But no, I'd be cool with Jackie Chan as well, and only to see him get thumped by Uncle. One more thing, ninja. Ow! What the hell did I do? So thank you for that question. And your third question is: do you think we might see the ancestors of the rest of the Norrisville Nine, the ninja group that the original ninja was from? I think so. I like to think that we'll eventually see the rest of the ninja clan eventually down the road, like some secret history stuff. That's how I see it. That's what I'd like to see, is like more history for the ninja clan and why the sorcerer had them wiped out and all that. Next set of questions come from Black Squirt Boys. Black Squirt Boys' first question is, who would win in a sword fight, the Bride from Kill Bill or Randy? Randy's pretty good, don't get me wrong, but he's nothing compared to Beatrix Kiddo. I gotta give it to Beatrix. She's a master swordswoman. She wouldn't care that Randy's a kid. If Randy started stepping towards her, she'd whip out that sword, get him through the throat, then pull up, cut his head in half. Yikes. So thank you for that question. Your second one is, what if Kim Possible and Randy Cunningham teamed up? That would be awesome. Why haven't you done that at Disney? Randy Cunningham. Oh yeah, because you no longer care about Kim Possible. That's why. But I think it would be really cool, like, also only to see Dr. Draken and McFist in a room. I want to see McFist and Draken in a room, and Draken is talking to McFist. He's like, you sound very familiar to me. I can't do a John DiMaggio voice actor impression. I really suck at it. I know I do. But Hannibal and him would be talking back and forth. Be like, I've heard that voice before, but I can't picture where it's from. Because again, you see the joke. They're done by the same person. So that would be like at some scenes, he's talking, and Shigo and Viceroy are in the back going, "Is he as annoying as he is? Yeah, I feel your pain." But no, I think that'd be really cool. And also Ron hanging out with Howard. That would be too much fun. This writes itself, damn it. So, yeah, that would be really cool. And your third question is, could Ultimate Spider-Man and Randy have a crossover? Okay, I'm guessing you're talking about the Ultimate Spider-Man cartoon, to which I'd be okay with. I'm not a big fan of the Ultimate Spider-Man cartoon. Again, I'm waiting for the Miles Morales episode. But, yeah, I would like that more than the Jesse crossover they're doing. Yeah, apparently they're doing a crossover between Ultimate Spider-Man and Jesse and the show and these characters from a show called Jesse. A show, the only person I know who in my family watches it is my 7-year-old cousin. That's really all there is. That's really all I know. So I'd be more inclined to watch that. But yeah. Anyway, thank you for those questions, Black Squirt Boys. Next comes Travis Rendon, who asks, would you like to see Randy and Teresa together? And if so, would you want Teresa to know he's the ninja? I'm going to answer this because it's more like if Randy and Teresa got together, more like asking who would I want to see together. Again, I'm fine with either. One of those few times where I'm like, I'm going to go on either ship. Okay. If Randy and Teresa got together, which I kind of hope that they do, because they've kind of mentioned it throughout Season 1. She hasn't been seen in a lot of episodes throughout Season 2, but I would like to have, I think it'd be really cool to have her, like Randy reveals to her in an eventual episode, maybe he's having a conversation with Howard, and Randy's like, dude, I don't know if I want to tell her I'm the ninja, because then she'll get into trouble. Well, she'll get into trouble either way. She gets spanked on a regular basis. You might as well tell her. So, I think it would be cool, maybe he reveals himself as the ninja, rather than be like, well, I'm not going to, I'm not going to make you angry at me every time I have to disappear, so, yeah, I'm the ninja. Are you cool with this? And I really want, Teresa would be like, oh, yeah, I'm totally cool, in fact, but I won't tell anyone. Again, I think it would be very much like Spider-Man and Mary Jane with those two. I think that's how it would most likely be as relationship-wise. I think they would be like Spider-Man and Mary Jane. Your second question is, besides Randy, who do you think they should make other ninjas should they make other ninjas in different countries, like an African ninja, British ninja, etc.? If they made a new ninja, I don't think it should be maybe not so much ninjas, but I'm gonna cherry pick of what's Major Badass said earlier. Maybe make it different places around the world have different defenders. You've got a Spartan of one town, and you've got a Highlander in another, something like that. That's how I kind of see it. And your third question is, if you can create a new ally for Randy, what would their powers be? Also, you rock. Thank you, Travis. If I was to create a new ally for Randy, I think it would be maybe it'd be cool. Maybe it's a kid, someone who was stanked a long time ago, and in the 80s or something, and he's become conscious, but he can't find a way to unstank himself. So now he just roves the land as a monster, trying to right the wrongs while at the same time trying to cure himself. Kind of like that one character from the episode of Aladdin with the El Khatib. Does anyone remember that episode? I hope so. But yeah, that's something I would do. That is definitely something I would do. So yeah, we have reached the end of this Q&A. I want to thank everyone for asking questions. Again, I know it was kind of abrupt, but hey, I figured, you know what? I don't know if I'll get any more questions, so I decided to do this right off the bat. And also, if you asked a question earlier, if you asked a question and I didn't answer it, or that means that YouTube marked it as spam, and once again, I apologize for that. But once again, hope you guys enjoyed this, and I'm out.